There may be these times in our life when we feel like we're in an emotional rut, when there's these general undertones of melancholy. And there's nothing really that we can specifically attribute these feelings to. And it leaves us feeling lost, like not knowing what to do to be able to navigate our way through it. And these feelings can persist, sometimes longer than just one day. It could be weeks, it could be months at a time. And when we find ourselves having to navigate through feelings like this, you could find that your coping strategies that you normally deploy whenever you have these feelings tend to fail, or maybe you're unable to carry out a lot of these coping strategies. So I've been struggling recently with this very predicament. And I usually rely on going for a run outdoors, or trying to do some sort of physical exercise, or bringing in some form of creativity to help me navigate through these feelings, to recognize that this too shall pass, but to bring in something that is just going to create a break in that feeling, or those undertones of melancholy. And it's when I have these type of feelings, it can leave me with that sense of life is dry, and hence the reason for this abstract title. And hopefully by the end of this video, I'll provide context to this rather abstract title. Because when we get into the state that life is dry, and you feel that there's no real way to navigate out of the situation, I was feeling the sense of tension because of perhaps things which are going on in society, things which are going on within my life, not really having a very clear path in terms of where this future leads, not having a goal for my life that I can really strive towards, or maybe there's frustrations in terms of me ever reaching those goals. And it leaves me with a sense of, where do I go from here? What's next with all these challenges that are kind of facing me, but nothing specific that I can attribute to and work out. And it's days like these when the mind can tend to play games with you. And this is what was happening with me. My thoughts were very much negatively oriented. And I could feel that it's really challenging to try and shift these thoughts, because my level of conscious awareness is also somewhat muted during days like these. And it's hard for me then to kind of take that step back and really reflect upon what I'm going through. And I just tend to feel into the misery, feel into the emotional rut, and not being able to find a way out. But sometimes we have to do something. We have to do something to break that cycle. And today I decided, as the day came to a close, and I was sedentary most of the day, and I could just feel that the weight of these emotions was just becoming heavier and heavier as the day progressed. And even engaging in conversation with anyone doesn't really help, because it's hard to explain something you're not even sure what is really at the root of it, or these general sense of having these undertones, and there's no real way to navigate out of it through conversation sometimes. And ultimately I decided, you know what, screw it. I recognize the weather's really bad. It was really windy today, and the weather wasn't looking that great. But I decided, screw it, I need to get out there and I need to take a walk, just to break that sense of having the sedentary feeling of just being on the couch the whole day. And taking this break was a catalytic moment, because as soon as I got out, not very long after, it started raining, and I had a choice. I could turn back and go back to my home and be safe from the rain and not have to feel through the rain. But then come back to these emotions that leaves me feeling sad, leaves me feeling demotivated. And I decided in that moment, screw it. Life is dry, but rain is wet. And feel into the rain and just walk through it. And yes, I got wet in the rain, but it didn't really matter. It also brought a heightened sense of awareness, and it created that space in order for that mental chatter to just quieten down. Those negative feelings to just be put in a different perspective. And as I started to go further on my walk, I started to become more aware of the feelings that I was trying to navigate through, and that it's not the only path. And although I feel really challenged in moments like this, that it's during these moments that I really need to just surrender to the divinity within, because I don't really have a rational path out of this, something that my mind can grasp onto and say, yes, this is the path forward and this is the way out of the situation. This is what the future will look like. The mind loves certainty, and the minute it's filled with these feelings of uncertainty, that was the moment for me to recognize that I've been dealing with a lot of uncertainty recently. And it's the uncertainty that was resulting in these feelings. And when we find ourselves in that position or that predicament, when you know there's so many uncertainties to navigate through, you're not really doing much to live the life that you want to live, and you feel kind of stuck, and you feel kind of life is turned into that sense of dryness, that sense of having no meaning, losing its meaning. And that's when I realized I don't have the solutions, and I don't know how to navigate through it. I don't have all the answers to all the questions that my mind is posing to me. And it's moments during like this that I need to just surrender to that divinity within, and trust and have faith that whatever path it's going to lead me down is a path that's meant for me, and that is going to carry me out of the situation and hopefully to better pastures. I didn't really script this video or put a lot of thought to it, so I do apologize if I was rambling a lot in this video. However, this is the message that I wanted to leave you with. If you find yourself in a similar situation where your coping mechanisms tend to fail you, and it leaves you in these feelings that you just feel that you're kind of stuck within these feelings and you don't have a path out, then perhaps a similar approach to dealing with these feelings of just surrendering to that divinity within and trusting and having faith that your higher self, your guardian angel, God, will lead you out of the situation and lead you to a path that is right for you. And sometimes we don't really know what lies in our future, what's really our purpose in life. To be honest, I don't really know what is my real purpose in life. And I find that it kind of changes as life goes on. And it's almost like a moving target. But sometimes, if I reflect back upon what I've gone through, I can recognize that there were some undertones of intelligence with the way in which the very path has been weaved. And sometimes, yes, it can feel tough, but when we reflect on the lessons that we've learned, the challenges that we've been through, this is what helps us recognize that by surrendering to that divinity within, the lessons that we've learned, that which we've taken away, is what is allowing me right now to navigate this life in a somewhat better way. And it's to a large extent learning to let go of that need for certainty. And I know this is really the hard part. This is the part where your mind comes in and wants to sabotage you. But if you can, or we can work, because I'm really in the middle of this. If we can learn to work through this and let go of that egoic attachment to want control, to want to know how things will unfold, to want to be prepared for every scenario, and we just let go and just leave it to the divinity within, then there is power in that. So when you find yourself in a similar moment, just remember, life is dry, but rain is wet. And hopefully the message that I've shared with you can help serve as a beacon of light if you're going through something similar. And if any of this content resonates with you, please do like, share, and subscribe. And with that, I'll see you in my next video.